Hello and welcome to the fourth episode of Taste of Magic. This episode we are still talking about Planechase, specifically the Plane of Alara. Alara was covered in the Shards of Alara block a couple blocks back. For those of you who don't know, the Plane of Alara was at some point split into 5 separate subplanes called the Shards of Alara. Each shard only had 3 colors of magic as opposed to all 5 colors of magic, and each plane kind of evolved to feature those 3 colors, missing the other 2. So the 5 shards of Alara, which we're going to be talking about a little bit, are Bant, Grixis, Esper, Jund, and Naya. The first one I'm going to be talking about is Bant. Bant has a Plains card, as do all of the shards except for Esper. Bant's keyword during the Shards of Alara block was Exalted. Exalted is an ability that gives attacking creature on your side +1/+1, as long as it's the only creature attacking. The plane of Bant, the blank card, gives Exalted to all creatures, meaning that if one creature attacks on any side, all of that person's creatures are going to give it +1/+1. In addition, when you roll the chaos symbol, you can put a divinity counter on a green, white, or blue creature, which are the 3 colors of Bant, and that creature is indestructible for as long as it has a divinity counter on it. Divinity counters are from the Kamigawa block, and they are featured on the 5 legendary creatures, the Myojins. There was the Cleansing Fire, the Infinite Rage, Life's Wed, Night's Reach, and Seeking Winds. And each of them came into play with a divinity counter, which made them indestructible, but you could remove the divinity counter to do something crazy. There was also a legendary artifact that could put divinity counters onto permanents, making them indestructible. That was called That Which Was Taken, which that actually had a big part in the storyline. So we'll talk about that at some point when we're talking about Kamigawa. The next plane I'm going to be talking about is Grixis. Grixis's keyword ability was Unearth. The way that worked was you paid the Unearth cost, you put that creature into play, it gained haste, and at the end of the turn you sacrificed it, or you exiled it, so it didn't go back to the graveyard. So basically it was kind of a flashback ability for creatures. You could have one more turn where you got that creature back into play, could attack it with them, and then they were removed from the game. The way the plane of Grixis works is it gives all blue, black, and red creatures in your graveyard, I assume that means everybody's graveyard, they get the ability of Unearth. Their Unearth cost is equal to their mana cost. And so Grixis, their colors were blue, black, and red. So that's why it gives it to blue, black, and red creatures. Then when you roll the chaos symbol, you can put target creature card in a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. That means you can steal your opponent's creatures out of their graveyard. That's pretty nice. So you can kill one of their big creatures, then next turn maybe you can get it back into your army. Grixis was kind of the plane of death. Bant had its main color was white, and Grixis's main color was black, and then they had the associated colors. Grixis was also the plane that was associated with Nicobolus, the Planeswalker, he was the main bad guy for this block. He had some minions like Malfagor, who was a demon dragon hybrid, and I'll talk a little bit more about them when we get to the storyline of Alara. So the third card is Jund. Jund is from the new set. It's the only Alara playing card from the new set. And the way this one works is it gives all black, red, or green. Again, the colors associated with Jund, black, red, and green. All creature spells gain Devour 5. Devour was the keyword for Jund. The way it works is whenever a creature with Devour comes into play, you may sacrifice any number of creatures to it, and it gets a number of +1/+1 counters equal to its Devour times the number of creatures it devoured. So with Devour 5, if it devours 2 creatures, it would get 10 +1/+1 counters, which is that's pretty big. Then in addition, when you roll the Chaos symbol, you can put into play 2 1/1 red goblin creatures onto the battlefield. This is just like the card Dragon Fodder, basically giving you some tokens to sacrifice to your bigger creatures when you put them into play. And 2 goblin tokens would be much needed with your Devour 5. All of a sudden, I don't know, your Shivan Dragon becomes a 10/10 fire-breathing dragon or a 15/15 fire-breathing dragon by just sacrificing 2 goblins. That would be pretty crazy. The next one is Naya. Naya is the green plane. Its associated colors are red and white. Naya is also the home plane for Ajani, for those of you following along. The way the plane works is you may play any number of additional lands every turn, and when you roll the Chaos symbol, you can have target red, green, or white creature you control, the 3 colors again, gets +1/+1 until the end of turn for each land you control. This is a very land-based, so it's the green plane, land, green, they go together, +1/+1 for each land you control. Well, you already can play as many lands as you want, so that's a pretty nice bonus. And Naya was one of the planes that did not have its own keyword during the block. They had a theme of creatures that had power of 5 or greater, and there were a few of those, but it didn't actually have a keyword. Bant, Grixis, and Jund all had their own keywords, and Esper didn't have a keyword either. They had all their permanents were artifacts in addition to their other types, or all their creatures, I guess. They weren't really artifact enchantments to my knowledge. But yeah, so Esper was the blue plane, which does not have a plane card yet, but I'm sure it will at some point. I'm running low on time today, so I'm going to stop this episode, and I am going to have another episode where I still talk about Alara, and I will talk about the last playing card, as well as a couple other cards from the set, the regular cards, not the playing cards. And I will also talk a little bit about the story, and also some of my own theories about Alara. So see you in the next episode.